when everything is resonating at the same frequency, for those few seconds, when those atoms within you start resonating also at that same frequency, you become one with yourself.
Obviously, you tune to a pitch.
Yeah.
Is that a set pitch with a tune fork, or how do you get that?
It all depends. So if I'm playing the juri, the bigger instrument,
Yeah.
that's like 1 octave lower. So it's like a very deep resonance with
I
it.
see.
But this one, it's at the moment it's tuned to D. So I'm playing with one of the sitar players at Royal Albert Hall in a few days. And this one's tuned to D at the moment.
Right.
So it's a skinned instrument, but it's quite heavy with the wood.
I
So
wonder if I can get that out.
yeah. So actually you'll be able to get it out. So what you do, these last 2 fingers just slightly down, that one up there, and you just strike very softly here on the edge. Perfect, you got it. And with enough practice, it becomes amazing. As you know, you're a master of your trade.
Wow. Yes. Let's see. Is that gravy? Yeah.
The father instrument to this is the bigger one. It's called the jori. So with that one, it has a more bassier sound. So you put dough on it, on the bass side of it. So it's called just flour and mixed with water and then put it on, and then it gives you that bass sound.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
put that on.
Yeah.
So it really be goat, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Goat.
Yeah, go see.
Yeah.
So it has this kind of stretch to it when you play it. You stretch the note, and it belongs to a style of music known as Dhrupad, played on like the big classical stages. And the idea behind these instruments is that when everything is resonating at the same frequency, for those few seconds, when those atoms within you start resonating also at that same frequency, you become one with yourself.
Yeah.
That was the idea behind it.
Yeah.
And so we believe in our in the Vedic scriptures, they say that the idea is that the entire cosmos is but the creation of the supreme artist. So why each practitioner of music or artist, he seeks to capture that divinity in his art form.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So
Miles Davis was doing it in the 60s. I know there's a record called On the Corner, and he's his tablas, and he was, obviously playing the trumpets, and he had the Brazilian people, and then there's piano players who just do all sorts, play sort of everything, every kind of culture in its own time.
Steve, how did you get into all your music?
Well, my father was a semi-professional musician. He played 30s and 40s dance music.
Wow.
And and I started off playing the piano. Then I started playing guitar. But through my father, I had to learn a lot of the 30s and 40s dance music, all these chord changes and all different inversions of different chords. And of course, during that time, so it would have been about 1957, 1956, rock and roll was just just started to appear. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So then I learned, my brother had a guitar, and so I said, I want to learn the guitar. So I learned the guitar. And then through that 30s and 40s dance music my father used to play, then I discovered jazz. During that time, in Germany, so it was just after the war, and there used to be a radio station in Germany broadcast, and they used to have every night the Voice of America jazz hour, and I used to tune in on some little sort of thing with wire attached to the ceiling, so I could listen to this jazz and listen to a lot of great people then who I'd never heard of before. And then, of course, gradually I got to know people who had these records and listened to that. So I came into music really through jazz, although actually, I can lie, because the first music I did was in church, was Anglican church music. So I was a choir boy. And that music actually had big influence on me. You know, it's got and still does.
That's amazing. So it all started from church, and then from there you got into rock. Then you just carved out your own kind of way and just touched the skies
And then blues.
Wow.
Of course, blues.
So blues is also like
Well, blues sort of came after rock, so then suddenly in the 60s, we would hear these strange, things from America, and which weren't really mainstream. It was just it was like little groups of enthusiasts, would listen to these records. And there used to be actually a great shop in Birmingham called the Discovery. I'm sure it's long gone, but we used to go there and vinyl records and find all these obscure people, and then just get them to try and copy them, and that's what a lot of bands in the 60s, like even Beatles and the Stones and the Who and those people, they were actually trying to copy blues, but couldn't really do it, So they just gave it their own thing, and that's what developed. And then, of course, we did hear a lot of Indian music, of course, through the Beatles. George Harrison was very keen.
He was close to there was a famous sitar player called Ravi Shankar.
Yes, that's right. I saw Ravi Shankar play at his. And is it Alaraka?
Yeah, that was one big masters of tabla.
Yeah.
From the Punjab style of playing, he was fantastic. Ever since I was little, I don't know what drives me. It's just the idea that I'm going to sit with my instrument, I'm going to practice, and you just escape from everything. And when you just become one with your instrument. And I didn't do it to become like a famous tabla player or anything, and I just loved it. It's just it was just very natural, that connection with it.
Calling, as far as playing to people, as long as they come and listen, I'll play with them, I guess. And while I'm still above ground, I always like to learn from, and it's I think that's an important thing for musicians, that they you don't really learn everything ever. For me, it's a drive for knowledge, really.
Yeah. I'm sitting here now with Steve. It's such a great honor. As in, I don't think I would have otherwise happened. It's just that I think because of the things that we've done in our musical journeys, I'm able to, I'm humbled in your presence in that kind of sense, Such a big, you're such a big star, Absolute honor, honor.
Have a good trip back to Brighton.
Yeah. Thank you so much.